Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, the insolent and drunken customers were escorted out by the police. The second story, clearly a bad day for the entitled Karen, who doesn't know such a thing as personal space. The third story, revenge on my boss for not keeping his promise. The first story is, drunk guest plays with wheelchair, then escalate to nuclear. A touch of backstory. I'm a night auditor at Smaybridge Suites, which is an extended stay facility. A bunch of guests that were here for a job, to put up a cell tower I think, checked in on my shift about a week ago. Their boss made the reservations under his name and with his card, but didn't fax or email us an authorization form. Couldn't check them in without the card, until someone said they had a company card and to use that. Great, no problem. Checked in without any further hiccups. Jumped to last night, so there I was minding my own business when 2 of that work group came down with a chick to go out for a smoke. No problem, at least they're not smoking in the room, right? Kinda drunk, and I asked them to keep it down as it's midnight. Okay, no problem. They come back and stop in the entryway, then start playing with the wheelchair there. These are grown-A men in their 30s trying to pop wheelies in a wheelchair. I asked them to leave it alone and say it's not a toy. They start giving me some hell about it, but I insist, and ask them to keep it down, as their drunk voices started to carry. They finally do and go back to their rooms. Every half hour or so, this group goes out to have a smoke, then back in, which is annoying, but you know, whatever. Just keep it down. One of them, Tats we'll call him, gives me hell about my mask I'm wearing. I just wave it off and say have a good night. You know, typical stuff. A little after 2, they stop in the entryway again and start playing with the wheelchair. I go out and ask them what rooms they're in. When I finally get an answer, I ask them to return to their rooms and stop playing with the wheelchair. I mean, seriously, trying to pop wheelies while drunk? They could have cracked their skulls open. Scruffy, the other one, starts to give me hell saying, we're not going to run away with it, we're just having a good time. He keeps raising his voice. I ask him to keep the noise down as it's during quiet time, and reiterate to stop playing with the wheelchair. At this point, I'm sure I sound irritated because really, is it so hard to act like an adult? Evidently, yes. After repeated times, they finally stop playing with the D thing, and I go back behind the desk. The girl is trying to get the guys to go back to their rooms and be quiet, but Scruffy isn't having any of it. Why can't we use it? We're guests. Loud voice. Please keep it down. It's during quiet time. But why can't we use it? We're not gonna steal it. Louder yet. Sir, please keep it down. No, you answer my question. Yelling. Sir, if you can lower your voice. No, you answer my effing question right effing now. Okay, that's it. You need to leave immediately. What do you mean? You're kicking us out? Yes, please leave the property immediately and keep your voice down. You can't kick us out. We're paying customers. You guys know the drill. I'm done. If you're not out of my sight immediately, I'm calling the cops. Just answer my effing question. I go back around the corner and grab my phone. There's an office area behind the front desk. At this point, I'm shaking with adrenaline. My voice is cool, but my body knows that I'm in a potentially dangerous situation, since he keeps shouting louder and louder. I give the dispatch information, and when she asks what their name is, I say I don't know, and he screams out, it's Scruffy. And I'm like, well, I guess it's Scruffy. They need to leave the property immediately. Dispatch, are you feeling threatened? Me, yeah. Hang up and call my manager to inform her on the sitch. Then I stand around the corner so I can watch the camera and see if he tries to escalate things even further. This whole time he's been screaming. He asks, aren't you afraid of getting fired? Nope, already cleared it with my manager. He keeps screaming at me to just talk to him, and I'm like, I'm gonna let you talk to PD. I'm feeling threatened by you. To that he screams, you're feeling threatened? What are you, an effing P? I'm gonna let you talk to the officers, sir. I'm done. At this point, I get the idea that maybe I should record this, and by the time I fumble my phone out to do so, I think, well, he's gonna be quiet now. Oh no. I know you. You're the effing R who checked us in. You couldn't even do that right, you effing R. I can't believe they let such an effing R work here. Paraphrased, but that was the gist for about 20 seconds or so. Cops get here and get them out, but man was I shaking with anger. Probably some fear too, to be honest. They're escorted out one by one, with Tats calling me the Penguin from Tim Burton's Batman movie because of my mask. The cops had to tell him to stop insulting me, and even then he didn't. When they escorted Scruffy out, I ducked around the corner, but he was screaming the entire time about what an incompetent B I am, and how effing R I was. The next day, I get a text from my manager asking if I filled out a police report. I was like, no, they just wanted my name and the work number. Evidently, they got arrested for something. No idea what. I didn't press charges for trespassing. I just wanted them out, and their boss was wanting to know if we pressed charges. I gave my manager the recording, and she was like, Aren't you afraid of getting fired? It's funny, but he's probably the one who's going to get fired because of this. I wish you had pressed charges against them. That would have definitely served to get them fired. And maybe they would have learned something. The fact that he gave you hell about your mask is very, very telling of the level of intellect this otherwise grown adult had. But still, you handled it much better than I would have. It's crazy that adults act like this and treat people so disrespectfully. Like if you're drunk, then behave yourself and go straight to bed. You're not in your own house, especially if you work for a reputable company and are its representatives. What idiots. I hope their bosses at least fine them or cut their wages or something like that. The second story is Wild Karen Appears. Entitled Mom Thinks It's Okay to Touch Pregnant Mom, Gets Slapped and Arrested. So the cast is me, Rookie Cop, PM, Pregnant Mom, EM, Karen. So I just started my shift and I was feeling good. I had a good dinner, all my good partners were on shift, and I was jamming out to my favorite Backstreet Boys track in my car. Then it happened. Dispatch sends out a call about a disturbance at a local coffee shop in my area. So I take the call and zoom on over. I pull up and there she is, Karen. I take one step out of my patrol car, and she basically runs up to me. Now Karen was 42 years old with that really short haircut, and I did notice that she had a big red mark on her cheek. Me, ma'am, is everything alright? EM in the most dramatic tone. Thank goodness you're here. I was just attacked by a crazy woman in the coffee shop. Me, okay, where is she? Karen points to a woman in the shop. I tell her to wait outside. She doesn't, and I request an additional deputy to come out. I walk inside and see a young woman who's very angry and very pregnant. I would have to say 7 months maybe. She's sitting at a table on her phone. I approached her and asked her what happened. PM, so I'm in here getting a coffee, just minding my business when that lady points at Karen, walks up to me and starts touching my belly. I ask her to stop, but she keeps touching me. Then when the barista sets my coffee down for me, she, Karen, takes it off the counter, hands it back up to the barista and says it's illegal to sell coffee to a pregnant woman. Then she starts touching my belly again, saying that I'm a bad mom. I ask her to leave me alone and stop touching me. She then tells me she's a mother and that she's okay. She got really rough with touching my belly and I got scared. When I tried to walk away, she wouldn't stop, so I slapped the bee to get her to leave me alone. I look at Karen, who was standing by the door rolling her eyes, as PM was telling her story. My partner shows up and walks up to me. Now my partner is a no BS, short southern corn-feed, mud-raised woman. I asked her to hold it down out here. I talked to the manager and several employees behind the bar. They all confirm what PM said, and the manager even brought me back to the office and showed me the security footage. All of it confirms PM's story, and on the camera it looked like Karen was getting aggressive with the PM because PM tried to walk away. Karen wouldn't let her stomach go. I walk out to PM. Me, ma'am, you want to press charges? PM, yes please. I walk over to Karen. Me, ma'am, I'm gonna ask you to turn around and place your hands behind your back. EM, what? Me, you're under arrest. Side note, in my state you can be arrested for intentional and unlawful touching of someone. Since Karen was both aggressive and kept touching this PM, she broke the law. EM, you can't arrest me. It's not illegal to touch a pregnant woman. You should arrest the employees of this place. They were giving coffee to pregnant women, endangering the child. Me, ma'am, you cannot touch someone without their permission, pregnant or not. Second, there's no law that says a pregnant woman cannot drink coffee. So please turn around and place your hands behind your back. EM, no, I'm not getting arrested. I'm leaving. I have to get home to my children. Karen turns to leave the store, and my partner steps in front of her with a try-me look on her face. Karen stops dead in her tracks. I took that moment, snatched her hands, and put on a pair of cuffs. Karen loses it. She starts trying to get away and screams. She's flailing so hard that she knocks off my body camera. I have to pick her up and carry her to my patrol car. When I get there, my partner opens the door, but Karen actually puts her feet on panel to stop me from putting her in. My partner rolls her eyes, grabs her taser, and zaps her leg. Karen shrieks and finally gets in the car. My partner, the saint that she is, says she'd do the paperwork while I take Karen to jail. So the whole ride I'm getting told how I need to watch my back, how she knows the sheriff, how I'm going to lose my job, and how I have no idea who she is. I get her to the jail and she starts going off about her rights. She needs to talk to a lawyer, and she needs to be released right now. The jail staff was looking at me with that "what unholy nightmare did you bring us" stare. So I did my report and realized I still have 9 hours on shift. Luckily, the rest of the night was not that bad. So she turned a misdemeanor charge into resisting arrest, assaulting an officer, and probably a few other charges. Not to mention what she did when she went to jail. I doubt she behaved herself there either. Poor pregnant woman. Sounds like she had a lot more patience than I did in a situation like this. No SH, right? That would have been "please stop touching me." I said stop, and that's the only warning he would have gotten. The next warning would have been a broken nose or my hot coffee on her head. Never mess with a pregnant woman if you value your life. Anyone who has children should know this golden rule. She's obviously very dumb. After all, I have many friends I know who were pregnant, and they were always ready to vaporize people who tried to touch their belly, especially strangers. And just effing walking up to a stranger and touching them is so effing creepy. Ugh. And the last story is, boss strung me along for promotion and raise, so I took revenge. Background. I worked for a big medical company for 3 years. While here, I onboarded a new support application for the whole company. I also built a fully agile team with 6 developers and analysts to support the large application ecosystem. I worked weekends, late nights, etc. I did it because my boss dangled a promotion to a manager role and large raise for this position. However, I kept getting strung along. There was always a new excuse why it can't happen. My theory was they were just using me to build a team. Once done, they would have eliminated my position. So I decided to find another job. Once I had a job offer, I put in my 2 weeks' notice. Amazingly, the promotion and raise, 20%, were suddenly available, while before there was no timeline. Funny how that works. I spoke with a former director of the same company, who told me this is normal SOP of the company, where they get most work out of folks and give them the promotion and raise they promised them, then they threaten to leave. So basically, they were just playing a corporate mind game. So I decided to take revenge. I accepted their counteroffer for a promotion and 20% raise. With no intention of staying, I also negotiated the promotion and raise to apply restoratively to the beginning of the month, which they accepted. After 2 weeks had passed, I started my new job on the side while still working old job. I decided to do this till mid of next quarter, so I can get my Q1 bonus check from old job. But once I got my Q1 bonus check from my old job, I told my boss it's not working out and resigned. So I worked almost a quarter with 2 jobs doing bare minimum on old job, 1 to 2 hours per day of work. And because I had 60 hours of PTO, I got a check for that also at the new rate. My boss and the VP were pretty peeved. VP met me and almost yelled at me. Now almost 6 months later, they're still looking for someone with my experience to fill the position. Was I an a-hole to do what I did? Did I burn a bridge? Probably, but benefit of remote work is that I'm not limited by region for a job. Did you burn the bridge? Yes. Did they SH on the bridge before you burned it? Also yes. You did what was best for you. Good for you. For those who say that's selfish, yes it is. It's incredibly selfish. Just like the fact that you kept the OP in suspense for 3 years, waving raises and raises in front of them with zero intention of giving them until they threaten to leave. This is what happens in a crap-oriented society. By design, it's get yours and go to hell. If you don't like what the OP has done, then you go to hell too. Don't forget to subscribe and have a nice day.